Hey, I'm Lisa Christensen. Welcome to my studio. Yes, it's downstairs in a basement and I love my creative space, and today I wanted to share with you how I make this awesome card. It's using stamps and dies with a watercolor wash in the background, and it's going to be a super fun summery kind of card, and I can't wait to show you, so come along and watch me. Alright, well, let's get started with this card. I have turquoise, phthalo turquoise, and then indigo for my wash, and then I will show you the steps for that, for the die cut and the stamp. So let's get started with the wash. I'm going to move this card just a little bit over so I have a little bit of room. I start with my phthalo turquoise, and I love this color. I did not love it when I started painting, but now I use it. It's almost in every single palette of mine. So I think I just had to get over the fact that it was so potent. Like this color packs a lot of punch. It's not a weak color by any means. A weak blue. It's cerulean is a bit weaker. You really have to kind of work at it. So I have I put this watercolor on my palette like years ago, and I finally started to love it, and that's why there's a little bit of clumps, but never fear, it's still good. It's still gonna look beautiful for the card. Alright, so I got my band of turquoise on. I did about like a third of the way down, but I left a white spot for some indigo. Now I got my indigo, and I really want my indigo to be very thick, like it's a milky consistency, meaning it's not very translucent when I put it down on the paper. And I'm just adding, I want the blue to mix, and I like a little bit of the blue, the dark blue on top. You can kind of notice there's a little bit of indigo right up here, but when I was playing around, this is my third time playing around, I really like that there's some indigo at the top. So that's what I'm doing. You don't have to. You can do just turquoise at the top and then indigo at the bottom, or any other hues of colors. So I let that dry, and I'm going to go ahead and remove my watercolor palette. Okay, so I have this one done. I did one layer. I'll show you a difference. So this is done with just one layer, like I did here. It should be about the same darkness, although this was milky like consistency. This is done with 2 layers, so it's a little bit darker. It's darker. You can kind of see the difference. So if you wanted darker layers, do a second layer. If you like the more lighter layer, do just 1 layer. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry, and here comes the fun part. I'm going to stamp. So once my card is completely dry, which it is, I actually don't need my towel. I use my towel to so I don't make a mess with my watercolor. I don't like to tape my watercolor down. I know a lot of people do, and that's okay, but I don't feel like I need to. So this is the fun part, and it's really quite easy. So I'm going to take a white pigment ink pad, and I'm going to ink my stamp, and you can kind of see how inky it is. Yeah, it's very white and inky. Okay, and I'm going to stamp it. This is a Misty, by the way. They came out with this, oh my gosh, probably 10 years ago, probably longer than 10 years ago, but it has changed how people stamp. And I like to stamp on watercolor paper, and so a Misty is a must. Oh, I love it. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and do the same thing, but I'm going to go a little bit, I'm going to just flip it, and then this is where I kind of like to just play a little bit around. So I just need a tiny bit on the, there, I like that. So I'm going to very gently There's a magnet like right there. I'm not going to necessarily move it. I don't need to. And I'm just going to get the tip. Oh. At least I want it to be centered. Okay, so that's done. And wowee, that looks beautiful. So it just adds a little bit of texture really to the background. Now I have these dies. This is a die. This is a die cut. If you're not familiar with it, you can buy dies. They look like this. They look like this. You put it on some white paper and you put it through your die cut machine. But this die in particular caught my eye because I thought it would be perfect for this card. And then so what I did with these is I put some what is it called? I should know it. It's like sticker paper that you put on white cardstock or any color cardstock, and then you die cut it. I want to say it's called like cut and bond or something like that, but it's made by Couture Creations. But this stuff is awesome. I love it. So you just that's adhesive. So now this just becomes more like a paper, and I should probably let the ink dry, but it doesn't take too long to dry, and I think I'll give it just a little bit to dry before I put that on. But I have another trick up my sleeve. So if you don't have a white ink pad, or you do and you want to play around with it, awesome. I have another experiment that I want to try, and I think it's going to work out really quite well. Some more ink, and I'm going to do the same thing, but instead I'm going to use pan pastels. And if I remember right, I'm going to move this just a tad bit up. Actually, how do I want to do this? I'll leave that here. I'm going to move this up a bit. There. That will work. And I don't really want it to move, so we'll do that. There. Now there'll be a nice bleed at the bottom. Ah, that looks beautiful. You can kind of see it stamped. That's the Versamark ink. You could leave it the way it is, and that'd be really pretty. I want to do a little bit more to it. And again, I want to just kind of see. Yep, I like that. Now I can ink it up again. This is my favorite. Alright, now this one, because we're waiting for the white to dry, this one is super fun. Okay, so this is pewter. This is pan pastel, and it's quite shimmery. It has a bit of a shimmer to it. It's pewter, and I recommend it if you like to make cards. This is a really fun way. So the ink, the pastel, hopefully, will only stick to the stamp. You can kind of see, it's like magic, you guys. It is so much fun. And you can do this with any background stamp, any floral stamp that's just really ornate. It's just a fun way to... And again, it's not going to give you that wham bam, super contrasty look. But, and I'm just dabbing it in. I'm not doing a whole lot with it, but it's so pretty. I mean, I think this would make for a really pretty wedding card. Now, the pan pastel should just kind of go away when I rub it, but it won't go away. It won't smear off the ink. I'm just rubbing off the extra pastels, but there you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Watercolor on top, and it's almost like a, the foiling is super popular right now. It almost looks like a foiling technique, but it's pan pastel. Isn't that gorgeous? So anyway, something to try if you haven't. If you have Versamark ink, you can get pastels, pretty inexpensive. I mean, they're about $6 a piece, but this will last forever. This one came in a set with like bronze and gold and silver, so it's kind of fun. It's really fun, actually. I can spend hours making these types of backgrounds, but since this is already dried, all I do now is take my die cut, my happy die cut, and I'm going to peel it off because I have that die cut sticker on. And you kind of have to be very gentle. Gentle is the word I would be using for this, because you don't want to break anything off. Okay, now I'm going to pop it back to where I think it needs to be. I'm going to put that one right here. This is just smack dab in the middle. Yeah, again, gentle. There's that. I think we're done. I think we got two beautiful cards. I think that blue totally works. I do love both of them. I would love to know your idea. I mean, this one is very, very stark, stunning. This one's more subdued, but I think they both really work. And then here's the original where I just put it on. So I hope this helps you learn a little bit more about how to create cards. This is a simple way to use watercolor and mixed media, and I just have a ball making them. So awesome. But comment below on which one you like, if you like the ink or if you like the pewter pan pastels, because they're both super fun. And let me know, and I will talk to you soon. Happy creating!